Hi friends, I'm Eleanor. Welcome back to Nostalgic Home Decor. Today, we're stepping into one of the sweetest little corners of a vintage cottage home, the Peach Jam Pantry. We're talking about soft peach colour, clear glass jars, tidy shelves, summer-preserving charm, and simple home decor ideas that make a pantry feel useful, pretty, and full of memory. By the end of this video, you'll have practical ideas for styling a farmhouse kitchen pantry with vintage jars, labels, linens, baskets, and soft seasonal touches without making it feel crowded or fussy. Whether you have a walk-in pantry, a small kitchen cabinet, or just one open shelf, there's something here you can use. Before we begin, I'd love to know, did your mother, grandmother, or maybe you yourself ever put up peach jam, preserves, or canned fruit in the summertime? Tell me in the comments, because those little kitchen memories are some of the sweetest ones. The heart of a peach jam pantry is always the glass jars. There's something so honest and lovely about seeing rows of preserves lined up on a shelf, glowing in that soft golden peach colour. For a vintage home decor look, try using a mix of old-fashioned mason jars, clamp lid jars, and simple clear storage jars. They don't all have to match perfectly. In fact, a collected look often feels more natural in a cottage-style home. The trick is to keep them clean, grouped by height, and arranged with a little breathing room. If you're using this idea for kitchen storage, place the most useful jars at eye-level sugar, flour, oats, tea bags, dried peaches, or baking supplies. Then use the prettier jam jars on the upper shelves where they can catch the light. A good farmhouse kitchen does not have to be fancy, it just needs to feel cared for. Even a small pantry shelf can become a tiny kitchen makeover when you remove bulky packaging and transfer everyday staples into simple glass containers. For a nostalgic touch, add handwritten labels or cream-coloured paper labels tied with cotton string. Keep the writing simple: peach jam, brown sugar, rolled oats, biscuit mix. It feels personal, and it also helps with home organisation. Peach is a beautiful summer colour, but it works best when it is gentle. Instead of painting the whole room bright orange, bring in soft peach through smaller accents. Think of a folded gingham dish towel, a faded floral curtain, a small transferware plate with peachy rose details, or a painted wooden shelf in a soft blush peach shade. These are affordable home upgrades that can change the feeling of a pantry without a full home renovation. If your kitchen is mostly white, cream, or warm wood, peach adds a cheerful little glow. If your farmhouse kitchen has sage green cabinets or buttery yellow walls, peach blends in beautifully and gives the room a fruit stand-in summer feeling. One simple decorating idea is to create a peach shelf. Place 3 or 5 jars of peach preserves together, add a small vintage saucer behind them, and lay one neatly folded linen underneath. That little layer makes it look intentional instead of accidental. And remember, cottage style is not about buying everything new. Look in your own cupboards first. An old dessert plate, a soft napkin, or a small wooden tray may be just enough to give your pantry that summer-preserving charm. A pantry should be pretty, but it still needs to work. That's where baskets and wooden crates are so helpful. For vintage farmhouse decor, look for shallow wood crates, woven market baskets, small handled baskets, or painted boxes with a clean, well-kept finish. Use them to group things that might otherwise look scattered: extra jar lids, recipe cards, tea towels, paper labels, spice packets, or small baking tools. This is especially useful for small kitchen ideas. When space is limited, grouping items inside a basket makes shelves feel calmer and easier to use. It also gives the pantry a more finished interior design look without making it feel staged. A soft peach jam pantry might have one basket for baking linens, one crate for empty jars, and one small tray for labeling supplies. You can even tuck a handwritten family recipe into the front of a basket, especially if it's something like peach cobbler, jam cake, or summer biscuits. That little detail tells a story. It says this pantry is not just for storage. It belongs to a home where people cook, remember, share, and make something good out of the season. Now let's talk about the old treasures. This is where a pantry can become truly personal. A vintage pantry does not need to be packed from top to bottom. A few meaningful pieces are better than shelves that feel too busy. You might add an old mixing bowl, a little enamelware pan, a wooden spoon crock, a small pie plate, or a pretty tin that once held tea, crackers, or sewing notions. The key is to choose pieces that relate to kitchen life, that keeps the room practical and believable. A pantry filled with glass jars, folded linens, old recipe boxes, and a small scale feels natural. It supports the kitchen design instead of distracting from it. If you love flea markets, look for pieces that are clean, sturdy, and still useful. A cream enamel tray can hold jars. A vintage cake stand can lift a few preserves, so the shelf has height. A small wooden stool can sit below the pantry shelves and hold a basket of peaches or folded towels. And here's a little tip: repeat materials, not clutter. Use glass, wood, cotton, and a touch of painted metal. Those materials work beautifully together in cottage rooms and help the pantry feel gathered over time. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is one old kitchen piece you would never part with? Maybe a bowl, a recipe box, a rolling pin, or a jar from someone you loved. A peach jam pantry should feel sunny and well kept, not dusty or forgotten. So before adding decor, start with the simplest home improvement step of all. Clean the shelf, clear the extras, and let the pretty useful things show. Fold dish towels neatly, turn labels forward, keep lids together. Place taller jars in the back and shorter jars in front. These little home organization habits make a big difference, especially on camera and in real life. For summer, you can add one small seasonal touch: a little bowl of fresh peaches, a sprig of mint in a tiny glass, a folded flour sack towel, or a recipe card leaning against a jar. Keep it simple. The pantry should still look like a working part of the home. If you have open shelves in your farmhouse kitchen, try styling just one corner this way. You don't need a separate pantry room. Even a small cabinet with the doors open can become a charming seasonal moment. And if your kitchen needs a gentle refresh, this is one of those decorating ideas that costs very little. A few jars, a soft color story, and better storage can make an everyday corner feel loved again. There is something so comforting about a pantry filled with jars of peach jam, folded linens, and little kitchen treasures. It reminds us that home is made in small ways, one shelf, one recipe, one summer afternoon at a time. A peach jam pantry is not just about decoration, it is about keeping useful things close, honouring old habits, and making the kitchen feel cheerful and cared for. If today's video gave you a few ideas for your own pantry, kitchen shelves, or summer cottage decorating, please give this video a like. Subscribe to Nostalgic Home Decor for more vintage farmhouse home decor, cottage-style rooms, and gentle homemaking inspiration. And before you go, leave me a comment and tell me, would you style your pantry with peach jam jars, old linens, wooden crates, or a favorite family recipe? Thank you for spending this time with me, friends. I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you in the next video.